All right. Hey everybody, this is Mike McWilliams.
Jacques Richmond.
We're here today on Upstairs to the Right Music. Today I'm joined by my good friend Jacques here. He took the time to visit me while I'm here in Los Angeles, California to talk about a couple of stuff. Jacques, it's good to see you, man. Appreciate
Always
you
a pleasure.
Appreciate you swinging by. We go way back. As a matter of fact, when I was brushing my teeth this morning, I was thinking to myself, boy, when was the first time I met Jacques? And I remember, man, it was at Cal State Northridge. I was in Cal State Northridge in the music department. They had these small little piano rooms.
Upstairs.
But they actually had really, really nice pianos in them. I forget what they were.
Upright, maybe.
Quais?
Quais, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. They were beautiful. Mm-hmm. And so I was playing piano, and this guy walks by the window. I see it out of the corner of my eye. Then he stops and comes back and looks back, and he says, "Oh man, I'm sorry to disturb you. I heard you playing piano," and that was Jacques Richmond.
That was me.
That's how we met. Yeah, you remember that?
I remember it quite vividly. Yes.
That's how we met. And I don't even want to tell you how long ago that was.
Let's not go. Yeah.
There were hair metal bands going on at that time to give you some small idea as to when that was. But since then, Jacques and I, we had the opportunity to go to what I consider music finishing school at Reggie Andrews' South Central unit.
That's right.
We are both what I call graduates of that particular finishing school. Reggie Andrews, tell us about Reggie.
Reggie Andrews he's a musician first. He had a group back in the 1970s, and that kind of forayed into his association with a label named Motown Records. He was an A&R person there. He was a writer there. He also wrote for a group called the Daz Band. He wrote a song with a gentleman by the name of Ndugu Chandler called Let It Whip.
Now, Ndugu is a very, very well-known session drummer.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, he has passed away, but he is, in our hearts, he is a very good session drummer, and obviously that collaboration with the Daz Band and that song Let It Whip.
Yes.
Everybody knows Let It Whip, and that was Reggie.
That was Reggie Andrews, yes, and he went on to teach at Locke High School, for years and years, and through that association with the school, he got a chance to usher in a lot of very well-known musicians and actors through that situation. And
yeah, you would be surprised the list of people who at one point went through that.
Gerald OBrien.
Yeah, Gerald went through there.
Patrice Rushen
went through there. Sarita Wright came through.
That's right. Tyrese.
We actually got to meet Terry Lewis over at A&M Records.
That's right.
Through Reggie. Yeah, all through Reggie. And through that also, he got us our first real gigs. I seem to always get the ones that Jacques didn't want. I don't know how that happened. It's like, yeah, man, I got this gig, and I'm sitting there and I'm recording Smokey Robinson. And I'm like, why the heck didn't Jacques want to record Smokey Robinson? This is like nicest guy in the world, by the way. I still say that to this day. Nicest man I ever met in my life.
No.
Why do you?
You got those because you were the right person for the job, and you came in at the right time. And I had nothing to do with that at all.
Okay.
You had the talent, and you did.
I guess so. I always downplay myself because I always sat there and thought to myself, what the hell am I doing here?
No, it's you. It was your strength. You did well.
We had our strengths. We both had our strengths, and that's the thing. I guess the reason that we're talking about this to you guys is to let you know that careers in music can go a whole lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Of course, everybody wants to be a star, but I'm going to tell you that stars burn out. Eventually, however, having longevity is your ability to produce.
That's right.
What else do you think is important?
Well, you really have to be able to find your strength and be able to find your way into the space where that strength is making money. And you may have to wear a lot of hats. You may have to go through a lot of situations to find that. I think that most producers, most writers' weaknesses are that they're not in the space that they need to be in. They're not in their strength, so they end up kind of just fizzling out.
Yeah, I understand. That's actually that. I know that sounds convoluted, but it's really super true.
Yeah.
For those of you out there, that'll ring true. You'll understand what he's saying to you. I guess to put it plainly, however, for everybody else is just to say, you don't know what's going to be the thing that's going to get you over into that place that you want to be.
That's right.
So therefore, you kind of have to be good at just about everything. And that is a super tough thing to do. Jacques and I, of course, were super lucky.
Yeah.
First of all, we were here in LA,
right,
which is, that's a good starting point. The other thing is that we had a lot of people who were supporters, Reggie, of course, being one of them, a lot of different folks. And the next thing is that we had the ambition and the desire to soak in all that information.
Very important.
You got to have that kind of ambition. And it's a certain level of ambition that is it can be unhealthy. I guess it can be unhealthy. However, if you balance that out with your family life and other things, your friends and things like that, you can work that out. But it is a great deal of ambition. However, once you get over that hump and into your spot, you shine and you get work. Jacques I didn't mention, this man is a Grammy nominated producer, by the way. Tell us a little bit about where you're signed to right now and what you're doing.
You embarrass me.
This is truth though. It's just truth. So that lets you know he knows of what he speaks.
Well, currently CTM, which is a publisher out of the Netherlands, it's a publishing company, formerly Chrysalis Music Publishing, that was based out of London, UK.
Yes, oh, that's right. That's
over in Kensington. So yeah, it's been about 19 years now in publishing. About 19 years.
Oh, so really?
It's been a stretch.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a stretch.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah.
So in those 19 years, what do you think is the most common thing, the gift that you use or a talent that you use? That piece, or at least somebody who has an aspiration to do what you do, and also maybe describe what it involves, what you do day to day, as far as that's concerned.
That's a really, really good question. My strength, and after all these years, I have to admit, my strength is my ability to listen to people, to listen, and not be wise in my own mind, but to really understand what the client wants, what he wants. And that means that you really, like I said, you have to be able to listen. You have to be able to hit the mark, and that only comes from the practice. And listening is an art form. It really, really is, because it allows you to understand what it is, what the job is, really understand.
And what would you say day to day you do?
Day to day, you'd be surprised.
Is it the same thing all the time, or is it different projects?
I listen to music day to day all the time.
Okay.
That's what I do. And I literally, because I'm more of an academic person in terms of production, I literally listen to songs. I literally pick them apart. I take them and what's the word when you deconstruct them, where I figure out chord progressions, I figure out drum sounds, I figure out the things that it takes to make songs the way they are. Why is this song a hit? And I literally have Excel sheets filled with data of all of the #1 songs, the chord progressions, who wrote them, who produced them, and I keep an active database.
Now, is it true that Max Martin produces a great deal of the songs? Do you see Max Martin's name come up a lot?
I see him. It goes in waves. It goes in waves.
Oh,
Max
okay.
goes in waves. But he's associated with a lot of acts. So if he's not producing directly,
he's got a credit.
He's got a credit. So and his influence are like octopus tentacles. I mean, they're all over the business.
So it's funny that he should say that he pulls songs apart, because I, as you know, I'm signed with Big Sync recently.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. I've been acting as an independent writer of my company, Upstairs to the Right Music, for television commercials, but I have signed it over to Big Sync recently, and but it's the same work. It's the same thing. I have to deconstruct it's what you get is something called a brief. A brief is written to give you an outline of what it is the actor, the producer, or whoever, what do they have in mind for the music cues and things that they want for the particular piece that you're writing for. Or that's in the case of commercial. In Jacques' case, it's the same thing, but in this case, it's for specific artists.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So you can see that the common thing between the two of us is the ability to take a song or a brief and to translate it into something that the client wants.
Right. Very, 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 very accurate. Very true. That's the job. And it's for those who are looking to get into publishing, what I tell the people who I write with is that there is no quick fix to this. There is no, I'm getting ready to be a millionaire next week. That's not how the business works. What you have to concentrate on doing is writing great songs. And publishing then becomes a matter of waiting for the right artist with to meet the right song and the right situation. And when that perfect storm comes together, then you
strike
get
it.
The success.
Yeah, you strike it.
And it could be a couple of weeks. It could be years, but your job is not to focus on the success. Your job is to focus on writing the right songs and just being in the right position for when that perfect storm happens.
Now I'm going to add one other thing to that, and this is going to sound impossible. I'll tell you about how I developed this skill, and Jacques will tell you how he did it. But you have to be able to write every kind of music.
Yes, you do.
You cannot just say that I write hip hop, or I only do beats, or you can't say that I only do country. You can't say I only do electronic. You can't say any of that. You have to literally be able to play and produce anything.
That's right.
I learned that skill while I was on tour in Japan back in the mid '90s, because my boss paid me $50 extra for just music tracks that his vocalists that didn't have a band, when he was sending them around to different clubs to work, they could just take these tapes. I forget they were MD something, mini disc, and they would take them around. So I sit there with a sequencer keyboard, listening to the song, whatever it was, and reconstructing and coming up with it, breaking it down, learning the chords, learning the pattern, and it didn't matter what kind of song it was. Now I had to restrict it to just keyboards. I couldn't do any guitar or anything like that. But but $50 and I had nothing to do. Especially when I was there in the winter times and it was like snowing outside. Trust me, if I wasn't at the club performing, I was in my place doing those. And of course we did that when we worked at Reggie's too. That's what I wanted to ask you. Now Jacques here actually has a degree in Pro Tools.
Correct. Logic Pro,
Logic
certified Pro end,
Yes. So what I want to ask you, because I cannot remember, you and I were one of the first guys to use Pro Tools when we were doing those remixes from Motown. Remember?
That's right.
For Rosie Gaines.
And it was Sound Tools back then.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Went to Pro Tools.
Yeah. We were one of the earliest guys. Yeah, I can't. Yeah. Now we would sync it up to what did we sync it up to? We had those. Remember the 8? It was like 8 tracks.
Right.
What were those? Do you remember? Personas, or I think, or no?
Well, the 8 track that we had was a Fostex. It was a Fostex 8 track reel to reel. When you go way
back, that's true.
And then it went.
But we had those Alesis.
The Alesis ADATs.
Yeah. So we would sync up somehow. I think it was through MIDI or something.
It was SMPTE.
So SMPTE.
It was SMPTE.
So we would lay down SMPTE. So we'd lay down the SMPTE, and then we'd lock up. And we were doing that because they had the vocals on Pro Tools or Sound Tools at that time, and we had to sync it up to the remixes that we were doing.
That's right.
And we were going through the MPC 60.
That's right.
So it was. Although having the MPC 60 was good because it was already had the SMPTE at that. It was kind of forward thinking. So to have one already, that was half the game.
Back in those days. And that's the start of music production. Really, when it really began to get on another level is when we were doing remixes, because now all of a sudden you have a vocal and you have to use your music ability to create something new under something that previously. So that was an education. That was a real education.
Yeah. Got lucky on a few of those. I got Soul Tree remix. I got a couple other ones.
Very,
a couple other ones. I remember Steve McKeever.
Steve McKeever, he's still around.
Steve McKeever, Steve McKeever over at Mount Tide. He was very helpful. For some reason, he liked what I did. I still don't know why.
Because you were very good at what you did.
They keep saying this, but I honestly.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Anyway, if he says so, he's the Grammy nominated one, not me. So that'll tell you something.
You're embarrassing.
So in any case, so I guess what we're trying to say to you guys is, a very varied kind of. Background really helps you. You gotta know, man. I was working in Babyface's studio. Remember doing that?
That's
and then you went off to London to work to write. Was that with Chrysalis?
That was with Chrysalis.
Is that how you got started with that?
That's how I got. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Artists was we did a lot of acts back then, but the one that really did well was young at the time. She was 15. Her name was Billie Piper, and the name of the song was "Because We Want to." And then that followed up with another song called Girlfriend. Those did very, very well. And that was the major introduction into how money works with music. Because a lot of people do music for the love or create music for the love of music. And they don't understand that there's a whole...
the business comes in.
Whole other
Boy, does it come in.
Yeah. So that was a real education too. So... Yeah. In any other questions? I am an open book right now. What else?
I'm glad you're remembering because honestly, that especially because I've been trying to piece together. I knew that we were one of the early adapters of using Pro Tools.
No one was using it.
Nobody really said you and I were one of the early guys. And that's a fact. That's no exaggeration. We really were. Okay, so no. So Jacques and I are working together now. Actually, we started collaborating again.
Right.
We worked on a song for a Japanese group, Da Ice.
Da Ice, right?
Where I the first time I wrote and sang a song in Japanese.
It's very good. Yeah. I'm quite impressed.
What did you think about that when you heard my Japanese?
I was quite impressed.
I said, I wish I could pay money to see the look on your face when you heard me singing Japanese.
I said, okay, I can work with this. Let's make this work. So, and it turned out pretty well, I think.
And that gets into another point, is that you are limited by yourself.
That's true.
I know you guys sit there and think to yourself, boy, this guy buys a lot of equipment or he has a lot of guitars and stuff like that. You have to understand, every one of those guitars and every one of those pieces of equipment is something that I can use in my production to differentiate myself from another person. If I can give a certain sound that is good, coupled with good production and writing, then you always have to have that edge in this game.
That's right.
Because there are a million other guys out there, even at this level, there are a million other guys out there writing, and you have to do something to make yourself stand out in the crowd. I think a black guy singing in Japanese for a J-pop song will definitely catch their ear.
That's unique.
At the very least, they're going to listen to it. And I know it sounds gimmicky, but that's kind of how it is.
Because what I've learned over the years is that you're not going to play a chord progression that has not been played.
No, sir.
You're not going to sing in a way that's so unique that has not been done before. It all comes back around. What makes music different is the fact that you're doing it.
It's you.
Your fingerprint on it that makes it different. Unless you're outright cloning somebody else's stuff.
Well, but the thing is if you're good enough, you can do that.
Yeah, sometimes that
Sometimes the client will want that. They want it, but it's got to be just different enough. So you have to know how to do that, and that's an art in itself.
Right. I hear a lot of people who want to be so artistic that it's not commercial when you're talking about commercial music. Because people who listen to music because it's familiar to them. And when you move outside of the commercial aspect of it, this is purely the business and the publishing side. When you move outside of that, then people can't identify with it. So you lose them. And it's the fact that you're doing it that makes it unique. So you don't necessarily have to focus on being so avant-garde or so different that that you're thinking that aspect of it is what's going to make you.
No, man, you have to do the work, but do you.
That's right.
Do the work, but do you.
Right.
In other words, if they want an electronica song, then do it. But do it, keep to the little, listen to the brief, listen to maybe if they give you a guide track, something they were listening to, that always helps. In my case, take elements out of that and put it in you, but in your own version, but do you.
Right, and just remember, it's a big world out there.
Yeah.
A lot of music. And just because your music doesn't fit one format in one region doesn't mean that it's going to fit it's not going to fit somewhere else.
So that means you have to keep writing.
Keep writing, and don't be discouraged when you don't get
something to work. If you'll have something here that you can say, oh yeah, you can pull that and use it for this, save you a lot of time. You got something, but there's always turnover. So your work is your gold mine.
That's right.
Your work's your goal. One other thing I want to say in that regard, there's a lot of cats, this is not going to make me popular, but I see a lot of guys play guitar, they're shredders. Woo, they can shred guitar up and down the neck, and that kind of fireworks is great. I'm impressed. I can't shred like that. I'm a pretty good guitar player, but the thing is that, but none of that translates into writing a song. It doesn't mean squat. Doesn't matter if you're the fastest shredder in the world or whatever, it's not writing music, it's not constructing a song. And in the case of this, it's about constructing a song that everybody can relate to.
Right. And you have to understand
that.
There's a formula, although that's my wife, I will get it, but I'm not going to get it right now. There is a formula for writing commercial music. There is a formula. And stay inside of the formula and just do, like Mike said, just do you. Be you, but be you inside of the formula. And you'll be fine. I
mean, and don't get, I'm selling my soul and I'm doing this, that. You can then, when you have success doing that type of music, you can roll some of the money of that into producing your own albums.
Right.
And then you put those out on your own, and if you truly believe in it, then people will believe in it, and you can sell that as well.
Very true.
So you have to write anyway. I write for myself. I write for bands. I write for TV commercials. I write things now with Jacques.
Yep.
I write.
Right.
Every day. It's what you do. And that's how you just balance it out. I'm saying it's all about balance.
Very, very true.
All right, I want to thank you, Mr. Richmond, for taking time.
Good talk.
It's been a long time since I've been wanting this to happen.
Well, we got it done.
We got it through it. If you guys like what you saw, it's kind of a war right now on YouTube. Starting on the 1st of January of 2020, as you know, the new COPPA laws, whatever you want to pronounce, are going to come out that is going to wildly take away a lot of content off of YouTube. That also with the fact that the algorithms are now being programmed to go against the smaller guys such as myself or your other favorite YouTubers. It really is important now that you always hit the like button if you like the content, hit the bell notification so that you can know the new content is available and that YouTube knows that you are still watching the channel, that you are subscribed. If you subscribe to a newspaper and you don't read a few days, the newspaper company doesn't unsubscribe you. No, but YouTube does that. If you don't watch the content, they'll scrub you out as being a like. So you gotta or being a subscriber. So make sure you're always subscribed. Take the time to do that, not just for me, but for your favorite YouTuber. We'd all appreciate it. Until next time, you take care of yourself. Mr. Richmond.
Until next time.
All right,
we
guys.
have to do this again.
All right, man. See you later. Bye.
Bye now.
Like the show? Well, show your support by subscribing and hitting the like button. See you later.